channel. Today we are going to be making bean and beef tostadas. And
What's that?
That is when we have the crunchy shell on the bottom. And
The
then
thing when we made on the thing that looked like a taco, the little taco shell thing.
Yes, it's like a flat taco. Remember, then we put the beans and we put the chopped meat on top, and then we put the cheese.
Yeah, I remember now. What are the avocados for?
For those of us who like avocados on top of our tostadas. Okay, so what we're going to start off with is our ground beef. So we have a pound of 85/15 ground beef there. And Aiden is going to help me measure the seasonings and put it in. For Aiden, I'm going to have him use a measuring spoon. For the adults or for the older kids, what I would say is start seeing like how much a teaspoon looks like in the palm of your hand, how much a tablespoon looks like in the palm of your hand. That way you don't have to sit there, especially with savory foods, sit there and measure everything with spoons. You could put some in your hand and say, okay, that's enough, which is, you know, when you watch people who've been cooking for a while, they're not really sitting there measuring, they're dumping in because they know from sight how much each is when they're pouring it in. So you could start familiarizing yourself with that, maybe pour it into the teaspoon and then pour it into your hand to see what it looks like. So if you're not used to cooking like that, you can start getting that feeling. But for Aiden, he's going to help me start measuring. So we are going to do a teaspoon of onion powder. So can you scoop out 1 spoonful of that? Perfect. And dump it in. Thank you. Making sure you do not touch the meat. And then we're going to do 1 spoonful of garlic powder.
Perfection.
That is perfection.
I'm putting it all over the beef, so it starts to get the flavor into the beef.
Good idea. And then after you're done, we're actually going to mix it with our hands too.
So it was actually a good idea.
It was. I'm going to do 2 teaspoons of cumin, and it smells kind of smoky-ish.
You're actually right. It actually does smell smoky.
I'm actually right. So next up, typically I do a teaspoon of oregano. I'm out of oregano, so I'm going to do a teaspoon of parsley. 1 teaspoon, please. That's perfect.
Mama,
Yes.
this is actually start looking pretty good.
Thank you. And then we're going to do a teaspoon of salt.
Put it in the teaspoon.
So, as you can see, I actually have nothing left. So that's what I was talking about, learning how to measure it in your hand, and you'll be able to figure out what it looks like. And then we're going to do 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper.
Oh, I remember.
There you go. Keep twisting. Keep twisting. This is great for kids to do. Make sure you don't touch the meat. Let's do 3 more.
1, 2, 3.
So are you going to mix it with your fingers?
You are.
I thought you were going to mix it for me.
How do I? Actually, I am. How do you mix it?
You put your hands in there.
And you just crumble it up like a
And
ball?
you make sure that you crumble it all together to make sure all the spices go all over.
Okay.
All right, so while Aiden is mixing my meat for me, I am going to go rinse my radishes and my tomatoes. So what I like to do is whenever we can get something colorful, I like to choose the colorful option. So for radishes, we're doing these Easter egg radishes. And then for tomatoes, we're using, I found a container that has different colored tomatoes. So we're gonna use those as well. All right, so while Aiden's washing his hands, I'm going to put the beef in a pan so we can start browning it. avocados. So remember we take
Oh,
the
yeah.
refried beans and then we put some on the bottom of the shell and then we put everything else on top of it because it kind of sticks to the beans. So I put 1 can of refried beans in here and we're gonna add just a little bit of spices.
Can I do the spices?
Sure. This is a half a teaspoon.
Half a teaspoon?
So we're gonna do not put it on your face, please. Just a half a teaspoon of cumin. There you go, dump that in. Half a teaspoon of garlic powder. Thank you, sir. And half a teaspoon salt, please. Thank you, love. Alright. I think we got a little happy with the top part over here. Alright. So I'm going to
What do you mean got a little happy?
It started going overboard. Overboard! So I have the refried beans there over medium-low heat, so we get to start heating up. So what Aiden is using is a kid-friendly knife.
What's
So-
a kid-friendly knife?
That's what I'm going to tell him. So you can get these knives on Amazon, and they do not cut fingers, but they will cut vegetables. So these are a good knife to practice with. All right. Remember, keep your finger out of the way. Yep. And when you're done, just put the halves in here. That looks good. What we're going to do with our radishes is that we want to make sure that they're cut really thinly. We're going to slice the bottom off and then we're going to cut it thinly on the mandolin. So how my kids got started with the cutting is that I got them those food toys that have the Velcro in between and it comes with a little wooden knife. And they would sit next to me while I was chopping vegetables and they would sit there with a little play set and they would be chopping up the bread. A mandolin is also an okay thing for them to use if you're watching to make sure that they're not going near the blade and making sure that they're using the handle so that their fingers aren't getting close to it. You want to make sure that the guard is there. There we go. You can see here that we have very thinly cut radishes.
Are you
Of
done?
all different colors. Yes, you had many more tomatoes than I had radishes. I'm making you work harder.
Thank you. Because I like it. It's giving me a good exercise.
So next up is something that I'm going to do, and that is going to be to cut the avocado. Is I'm going to kind of slice it and dice it in the shell, being very careful not to pierce the skin, so I don't slice my fingers. So you see?
It
Like
looks
little boxes.
Hi,
And then
Mama.
I'm going to take the spoon and scoop it out.
Oh, Mama, I want to scoop up the neck. I want to scoop out
You
the
can do that. That's a great idea. So
I
what
want to
I'm
scoop
going
out
to
the
do
next one.
is I'm going to chop it and you're going to scoop it. That is an awesome idea.
Smart me.
Mm-hmm. You're so silly. There you go. And I'm going to do one more. You're doing great.
It actually tickles.
Mm. I don't think that needs any more spices, do you? It's good.
Yeah.
I have some more avocado here for you to scoop.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
It's scooping time.
And then so what I just did was I cut up a lime, so that way this doesn't brown. We can get some good fresh lime juice over it to keep it that beautiful green color. Looks good, eh?
Thank you.
Do you need some help getting it off there?
Yeah.
Did you just lick your fingers?
What?
Go wash your hands.
Mom, can I?
want to taste the lime?
Yeah.
It's sour. Do you still want to taste it?
Come on, I want to taste this part.
No, I didn't squeeze that one yet. You can taste this part. That has a little bit left.
Delicious.
Delicious.
No.
It doesn't taste too sour?
It doesn't taste sour at all.
Do you think it tastes sweet?
0% sweet and 0% sour.
So what do you think it tastes like?
Juice.
Okay. Tastes like juice. First.
Is this a knife for cutting?
No, it's for spreading.
Oh.
So we're gonna put some refried beans on the bottom of both of ours, and Aiden is gonna spread it out for us. Do you need some more? Is that good?
No more. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm gonna have a little bit more too. So now the nice thing about the tostadas is that everybody in the family can just choose what they want. There's a spoon there for a reason.
I like to sprinkle it without a spoon.
Watch. Look. Give me your hands. Give me your hands. Look. And now you can sprinkle it. I am going to put a little bit of everything on mine. I love radishes.
Cheese.
And they're so pretty. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Are you going to take some tomatoes?
This is what I want.
You're not going to put tomatoes?
It looks like a pizza.
I always put too much on mine, and then it's hard to eat. And I'm going to get one more thing. And I like throwing on some hot sauce on top of mine. Here is Aiden's.
Pizza!
Which looks like pizza and is veggie free. Although I thought he was going to throw some pretty tomatoes on there.
Pizza!
And then this is mine with everything on it.
It actually looks like a vegetable party.
It does,
Vegetable party!
So when Xander comes home, he probably will have just avocado and cheese on his because he could just
and hot sauce since we have hot sauce.
maybe a little bit, yeah. He will just eat an avocado from the shell.
He loves avocados.
All right,
And hot sauce.
ready to try it? So it's really good. I like when you have something kind of heavier like a ground beef. I like having the freshness of the radishes and the tomatoes and the avocado. I think it brings like a nice balance, and then you have the crunch of the tostada shell and the creamy refried beans. If you decide to throw different things on top of yours, let us know what toppings you use. Maybe it's something that we can try too. So we hope you all enjoy, and we'll see you soon. Bye.